per transaction 30,000 rupees, and in a year aggregate payment if it is exceeding 1 lakh rupees, then TDS under section 194C is deductible. So in this case you need to see first whether any particular transaction is exceeding 30,000 rupees. They have given 4 transactions. In none of the transactions the amount is not exceeding 30,000 rupees. Then second you have to see whether aggregate payments or payables. See, when the TDS has to be deducted under section 184C, earliest of when the payment is made or when the payment is credited to the party's account. Party's account anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ bank account alla, in the ledger books of accounts maintained by the payer. Isn't it? Now earliest of these two dates, date of credit or date of payment, whichever is earlier, TDS has to be deducted. In the 3 transaction payment dates they have given, in one transaction due date they have given to compute whether aggregate is exceeding 1 lakh rupee or not. 30, 20, 50, 75, 75 plus 28, obviously 1 lakh 3,000. 75 plus 28, 1 lakh 3,000 rupees. Aggregate payment is exceeding 1 lakh rupee. Since aggregate payment is exceeding 1 lakh, TDS under section 194C is applicable. Now the question is, what is the rate of TDS you need to apply? What is the rate of TDS? Next question. Once you analyze whether TDS is applicable or not, and after concluding TDS is applicable, now second question, what is the rate of TDS? Because it is not single rate they have given multiple rates in section 194C. What is the rate of TDS applicable? 1% or 2%? You need to see for the applicability of rate of TDS, you need to see who is the payee. The payee is an individual or a HUF, then rate of TDS is 1%. If the payee other than individual or HUF, then the rate of TDS is 2%. So in this case, Mr. X is an individual. So hence the rate of TDS is 1%. 1% next. After determining rate of TDS, then what is the amount of TDS? What is the amount of TDS last? So they are asking whether ABC Limited is liable to deduct TDS under section 184C. Question is, answer is yes, liable to deduct. Next question is, what is the amount of TDS? On the entire amount of 1,03,000, 1% TDS will be deducted. That will be 1,030 rupees. 1,030 rupees is the TDS. Fine. All other questions we already discussed. Then we will come to the next provision, next section, the TDS chapter. 194D. 194D deals with insurance commission. Insurance commission. See, basically insurance commission ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ you would have seen various agents, LIC agents until board account insurance agents. You see, these agents need not be an individual. So in our day-to-day life, we came across only individual as a agents. That is basically for life insurance. But if you want to take vehicle insurance anta helidre, usually in the case of a general insurance or a vehicle insurance, need not always be individual is involved. It may be sometimes firm or sometimes a company. For example, when you purchase your motor vehicle, car example, you car ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, car purchase ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, along with the car, the showroom person, the showroom itself is providing you the insurance. Particular company the insurance policy nu kuda ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. When you go for taking a delivery of a car, new car, at that time they collect from you not only the vehicle amount, they collect the registration charges also, and after that they even collect the insurance charges also. Now taking the insurance from the dealer itself is an optional. Though it is optional, most of the cases we don't opt for third party illa, ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಹತ್ರ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. We buy the insurance policy from the car dealer itself. Now, car dealer is not providing his own insurance to you. He is again a mediator. Getting the point? A car dealer who provides the vehicle insurance to you, or even for a two-wheeler, you take two-wheeler insurance to its customers, is not provide. He does not have a insurance company. He is again a mediator. Probably he may be having a agreement with the Bharati AXA General Insurance, or he may be having tie up with the Tata, Reliance, isn't it? So these companies are providing the insurance policies to you. When you are buying a vehicle, that is just observe the vehicle document. What all the documents is giving. One of the document will be insurance premium paid receipt, as well as insurance policy document also will be providing, isn't it? Now, what this dealer will be benefited from this transaction? Okay. Probably he may be selling particular, ನೀವು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಟಾಟಾದೇ ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಜಾಜ್ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಭಾರತಿ ಆಕ್ಸದ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. He may be providing randomly on Bharati AXA. He only pick and chooses one insurance company, and he will be providing the insurance policy from that company, isn't it? Now the question arises is, what this dealer will be benefiting? Definitely there will be a commission component. For example, if you are paying insurance premium of about 50,000 first time insurance premium 50,000 pay ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, on this 50 out of this 50,000, minimum to minimum around 10% commission will go to the car dealer. Not only car dealer, even for a two-wheeler dealers also, because basically vehicle dealer from where you are purchasing your car, motor car. Getting the point? That means car dealer will be earning 5,000 by selling the insurance policy of a particular company, any company for that matter, not only Bharati AXA. It can be Tata, it can be Bajaj. Where there are n number of companies are there, they will put out the list. ಯಾವ company ಬೇಕು, you can choose, or otherwise they will only pick and choose the company. Now we are discussing the impact of this 5,000. What is the nature of this 5,000 rupees? 5,000 rupees who will be paying? See, customer pays. Customer, basically a vehicle owner. Customer is a vehicle owner, goes to purchase the vehicle from a car dealer. Goes to purchase a vehicle from a car dealer. He will be paying 50,000 rupees to a car dealer. Getting a point? He is not paying 5,000 rupees to a car dealer. How much customer is paying? 50,000 rupees. The car dealer in turn needs to make a payment to the insurance company. Insurance company for the insurance policy. Getting the point? Now, whatever the 50,000 rupees premium is there, entire 50,000 rupees will be paid to insurance company. It's a back to back. ಅವನದ್ರೊಳಗೆ 5,000 rupees ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಪೇ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ 50,000 rupees ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ ಡೀಲರ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪೇ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ 5,000 rupees. Now this amount of 5,000 is nothing but a commission amount. On this commission, again question will come, TDS is applicable or not? Yes, TDS is applicable under section 194D. On the commission of insurance commission, TDS is applicable under section 194 capital D. 194 capital D. Clear? Now what is the rate of TDS? Rate of TDS is 5%. When the TDS has to be deducted? Earliest of time of credit or time of payment. Then no TDS if premium is up to 15,000 per annum. This is again a yearly limit. This is not a per transaction limit. This is again a yearly limit. You need to remember. Commission nalli we are going to discuss two more kinds of commission. Allu kuda you will be seeing this limit of 15,000. Commission elle bandru kuda you need to remember the threshold limit of 15,000 rupees per annum. Now who is the payer here? Payer is an insurance company. Always insurance commission antele insurance company ne payment ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. It's like a market ಮಾಡಿ insurance policy na sale ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು commission ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. Now payee is not any person, it is only any resident person. You need to underline the word resident. If he is a non-resident ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ 194 capital D is not applicable. TDS under section 194 capital D is not applicable. Then rate of TDS is 5%. Time of deduction we already discussed. Then up to 15,000 no TDS. Fine. Next 194 capital DA, which provides for TDS on maturity proceeds of a life insurance policy. This again we had discussed when we were discussing section 80C also. At that time, we did one of the investment which was permissible as a deduction under section 80C was life insurance premium payment. There itself, we discussed one more provision. What happens at the end of the maturity period? The sum assured or a capital assured will be received by the insured person after the end of the maturity period or occurrence of some events which are defined in the policy document. The capital assured may be, again, it is a defined amount. Sometimes it is defined, sometimes the company is going to add some bonus component also, and the amount will be disbursed to the insured person. Now let us say capital assured or sum assured, the insured person, Mr. X, is receiving 10 lakh rupees. Now on this, whether any TDS has to be deducted. TDS on maturity proceeds of a life insurance policy. Here we are not talking about other insurance. Only a life insurance. Usually life insurance ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತದ್ದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಮಂತ್ಲಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಶೂರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೀಮಿಯಂ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಾರ್ಟರ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಫ್ ಇಯರ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಇಯರ್ಲಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ sometimes. Now this again is mainly for not only covering the risk of life, but again as a tool of investment, the people are using this life insurance policies. And whatever the premium you paid, the premium amount, if it is within the limits specified under section 1010D, what is the limits which is specified under section 1010D? Again, if you remember, if the policy is taken on or before 1st April 2012, then the premium amount what you are paying should not exceed 20% of the sum assured. The policy is taken on or after 2012, then the premium amount what you are paying should not exceed 10% of the capital sum assured. If a person who is suffering from a disabilities under section 80U, then in such a case, the premium amount should not exceed 15% of the capital sum assured if the policy is taken on or after 1st April 2012. Then in such a scenario, then the capital sum assured what you are receiving, the insured person, will be completely exempt. Otherwise, then whatever the amount you are receiving after the expiry of the maturity date, the capital sum assured will be liable for taxation. If it is liable for taxation, if there is no exemption under section 1010D, then TDS will be deducted under section 194 capital 194DA. What is the rate of TDS? Again, the rate of TDS till 1st September 2019, the rate of TDS is 1% of the amount you are going to receive. You need to understand, it's very important here. 1% of the amount you are receiving till 1st September. But with effect from 1st September, it is 5% of the net income. 5% of the net income under the life insurance policy. Now we'll take an example to understand this. Let us say Mr. X was taken a policy, life insurance policy on 1st April 2013. 1st April 2013, he has taken a policy. Capital sum assured was rupees 10 lakh. And the life insurance premium every year he used to make a payment of rupees 1,50,000. And he paid for payment term. He paid for, let's say, 6 years he has paid. How many years he has paid? 6 years. So 6 years, how much he has made the payment? We'll make it 5 years, not 6 years, 5 years. So 5 years he made the payment. So around 7.5 lakh. So what is the total payment he has made? Total payment he has made as a total payment made was rupees, how much? 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh into 5 years, that is 7,50,000. Now let us say maturity date was, so minimum 5 years, so you calculate 8 years will take. 31st March 2020 was the maturity date. Clear? Now on this date, on this maturity date, whatever the sum assured was there, 10 lakh rupee was received by Mr. X. Mr. X. Clear? Now this is the scenario. Now in this case, we'll take maturity date as 2 dates will take it. 2 dates will take it. One is 31st March 2020. Another one is 1st April 2019. For this will come later. Will come to this. Later will come to this. First we will see what happens if the sum assured is received on or after 1st September 2019. 1st September 2019 ನಂತರ sum assured ನ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ. First we will understand that, then later on we will come to how to calculate TDS if the sum assured is received 1st September 2019. Now what the provision says 5% of the amount of income comprised in the sum assured ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಹೋಲ್ಡರಿಗೆ, on that income portion you deduct 5% as a TDS ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, isn't it? Provided again no TDS if amount is exempted under section 1010D, and if the amount that is sum assured, even if you are not claiming an exemption, or even if the amount is not liable for exemption under section 1010D, if the amount is not exceeding, capital sum assured is not exceeding 1 lakh anta helidre, then again it is not liable for TDS. Now you please tell me in this scenario, the given case, whether amount of sum assured, that is 10 lakh rupee, is exempted under section 1010D or not. Section 1010D alli exempt idya ilva, please tell me. So in the given case, whether the maturity amount, that is sum assured of 10 lakh rupees, is exempt or not under section 1010D. What is the condition to be satisfied in order to claim an exemption under section 1010D? Condition is the policy is taken on or after the 1st April 2012. The premium amount should not exceed 10% of the capital sum assured. Now here the capital sum assured is 10 lakh rupee. 10% of the capital sum assured is 1 lakh. But what is the premium amount per annum? 1,50,000. That means it is not fulfilling the condition which is mentioned in section 1010D. Hence, the maturity proceeds of 10 lakh is liable for tax. You cannot claim an exemption under section 1010D. In such a scenario, when the insurance company pays this 10 lakh rupee to a policy holder, Mr. X, at the time TDS will have to be deducted by the insurance company. Let us take LIC is paying this amount to a Mr. X. In such a case, what is the quantum of TDS to be deducted by LIC? under section 194DA. Now 194DA provides if if this sum assured is disbursed or paid on or after 1st September, then TDS will be deducted on the net income comprised in the sum assured. How do you find out that net income? Income in above is equal to 10 lakh rupees the capital sum assured less what are the premium paid during the during the term of the policy. What is the total amount of premium paid? 7,50,000. 7,50,000. So you will get income of rupees 2,50,000 rupees as the income. On this, you have to calculate 5% as a TDS. So how much you will get? Rupees 12,500 as a TDS under section 194DA. Any doubt? Now assume with the same sum assured amount is received before 1st September 2019. So this calculation holds good if the sum assured is received after 1st September 2019, on or after 1st September 2019. If the same sum assured is received before 1st September 2019. Let us take an example. On 1st April 2019, you are receiving this capital sum assured. In such a case, 1% rate of TDS is applicable, not 5%. And the calculation is also a little bit different. How do you calculate? On the entire 10 lakh rupee, you will be calculating 1% TDS. That will be rupees 10,000. It will be rupees 10,000. 1% of 10 lakh is 10,000 rupees. Any doubt? Fine. Now, no TDS if amount is exempted under section 1010D. No TDS if amount is less than 1 lakh rupee. Then also again no TDS of 5% is calculated on income, that is sum received less amount of insurance premium. Next section, section 184 capital E provides for TDS on payment to non-resident sportsmen or association or entertainers. So basically, this category includes these IPL. You take an example of a IPL events. IPL irbodu, or you can take an example of your Pro Kabaddi League, isn't it? Those kind of events where international players are coming to India for payment for playing the cricket, of playing any games of such, like badminton league also is happening, hockey league also is happening, football league also is happening in India. It was happening earlier, isn't it? Now because of COVID, all those games are stopped temporarily. Now if you just imagine the scenario of IPL, overall coming to India, only players matra bartidara India ge, overall coming to India to participate in the IPL events. Only players, cricketers matra bartidara. There will be a players, there will be a commentators, there will be a physicians who is coming to India, there will be a coaches, isn't it? There will be a entertainers who will be coming to India, isn't cheerleaders ante bartidare. So these people are coming to India, and by participating in the event, they will be earning the income from India, isn't it? Now these people are not residents of India. These are all non-residents of India. Yes or no? Now in such a case, they are getting a income. They are earning a income from India. Now whatever the income they are getting, it may be remuneration, or it may be a fees, or it may be a probably winning from any games, or probably by participating in an advertisement event. Now you would have seen various events. For example, Chris Gayle irbodu, illa Bravo irbodu. These, especially these West Indies players, they not only participate in the cricket in India, they in sometimes film launch irbodu, or the film trailers launches irbodu, or film promotions allu kuda participate ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, or some brand advertisement, brand promotions allu kuda involve ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ in India dalli. You would have seen some of the articles also written by the cricketers, foreign players in Bandaga IPL time alli, foreign players like Adam Gilchrist irbodu, or Breakley, they'll be writing the article and giving it to the newspapers or the magazines, sports magazines, isn't it? Now, do you think these are all free, at free of cost they are doing? They are not doing it for free. For whatever the activity they are doing, they'll be paid for. For all those things, they will be getting the payment. Now we are talking about the those payment or those payment. Whoever is paying, any person who is making the payment to these non-resident sportsmen or association or entertainer, overall covered under section 194E, non-resident sportsmen association. Association, again, sports association, they will be involving in conducting these events. Whoever is making a payment to the association, sports association, again, sports association is also a non-resident here, or entertainers, non-resident entertainers. Then, what is the nature of the payments? The payment is for participation in any game in India, that is, for example, IPL. Games like crossword puzzles, race horses, etc. not included here. You need to remember, games like crossword puzzles, race horses, or any game of a chance kind of a participations are not included here, because those are included in the section 194 BB. There itself it provides for a deduction of tax. If you go and see that section, it says any person, payee is any person, irrespective whether it is a resident or non-resident. Alle differentiation illa. Yeah, there itself 30% tax is deductible for them. Now here, and 194E covers only participation in any game, payment for participation in any game in India. Then second, advertisement, payment for advertisement. Then payment for any contribution of any article in newspaper. Payment for performance in India. Then payment for performance in India. Now, question comes this year. This year, IPL will not be in India. IPL ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಸಲ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಈ ಸಲ IPL? ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
UAE sir.
ದುಬೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಈ ಸಲ. That means whether any payment done by any payment made to those entertainers or to those sportsmen, whether TDS has to be deducted or not. Whether this section 184E is applicable or not. It says participation in any game in India anta helutte. Those games are not played in India. This time IPL is not played in India. It is played in Dubai. That means this provision of 194E is not applicable. Clear? And also towards that entertainers, performance is in India. Performance is not in India. Performance is outside India. I am talking about the current IPL season. Performance is not in India. Performance is in Dubai. No TDS will be attracted in 194E. Getting the point? Now, in such a case, TDS will be deducted at 194 under section 194E. What is the rate of TDS? 20%. When you have to deduct TDS, earlier of time of credit or time of payment. So generally, who will be making the payment? These franchises, no, Mumbai Indians or Royal Challengers Bangalore or Deccan Chargers. What is that? Sunrisers Hyderabad. So these are all the franchises who will be making a payment to those sportsmen or to those association or to the entertainers. These franchises would be having a company for looking after the events, and from that company has to deduct a TDS from the payment. Next, section 194EE. Next section 194EE. Payment of deposit under National Savings Scheme. Again, it is not much relevant. This section is not much relevant from examination point of view. What is the nature of payment here? Any deposit, if you have opened any National Savings Scheme account, you have opened ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, probably with the banks or with post offices. Usually banks ಎಲ್ಲ post office ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ account open ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Any payment under that scheme, payment of deposit under National Savings Scheme, any person, whoever is paying, and who is the recipient? Only individual or HCF. The TDS will be deducted at the rate of 10%. At the time of making the payment, TDS will be deducted. No TDS if payment is less than 2,500 per annum. The payment, whatever is made, is less than 2,500. No TDS will be deducted. Fine. So please give me the answer for question number 5, 6. 7, and 8. All these are, again, we already discussed these provisions relating to these questions. We already discussed. Give me an answer for one by one. First, illustration number 5. Illustration number 5. Examine the applicability of the provisions of TDS under section 194DA in the following cases. Mr. X is a resident, is due to receive 4,50,000 rupees on 31st March 2020 towards maturity proceeds of LIC policy taken on 1st April 2017, for which a sum assured is 4 lakh and the annual premium is 1,25,000. How much he has paid? One annual premium 1,25,000 is paid. Sum assured was 4 lakh. When the policy is taken on 1st April 2017, he has taken the policy. Now we need to tell me the applicability of section 194DA and what is the quantum of TDS to be deducted. In the first case, quickly. What is the answer for first provision? First question instance. Whether amount of sum assured 4,50,000 is exempt under section 1010D. Insurance policy ಯಾವಾಗ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ Mr. X, when he has taken the insurance policy?
One for 2017.
Yeah, so policy is taken on 1st April 2017. That is on or after 1st April 2012. In such a case, what is the maximum permissible amount of premium? 10% of
45,000.
sum assured. So here you need to see what is the premium he is
40,000.
paying, whether it is less than 10%, less than or equal to 10%. If yes, then 1010D exemption is available. Now 1,25,000 per annum he is paying. Take that 1,25,000 divided it by 4 lakh. How much percentage you will get? %31.25%. That is more than the 10%. The amount of premium what he has paid is more than 10% of the capital sum assured. So hence, whether the sum assured or whatever the amount is received after the maturity, can he claim exemption under section 1010D?
No, sir.
He cannot claim, hence it will be taxable. So TDS under section 194DA is applicable. Now, what is the amount of TDS? Please tell me what is the amount of TDS? What is the amount of TDS? How will you compute amount of TDS? How much he has received on the maturity? On the maturity he has received